Good evening, everyone. Ellen Sutter of ESP and ESP Book Chats, where we bring page turners your way. We have our guest here, Charise King. Let her come in a moment. You guys that are on Facebook, I don't know, you probably get this later, but those that are on YouTube, thank you for being here and thank you for sharing. You can come in the room and show your beautiful face. I'm just going to do the commercial right where you're there. Also, our book commercial that we have, it is Melvina Melvina Gray. She is the author of Comeback Related PTSD. She penned her book about her husband who suffered from PTSD, and this is severe PTSD. Not only did she pen that book, it's not like a self-help book. This is talking about her journey through living with her husband. There are so many things that happen. She don't try to advise you to stay or to go. If you are there, get your husband or your significant other the help that they need. Melvina Gray, I'll post her book at the end of this video so you guys can see that. So now for our guest, Charise King, come on in and you can unmute if you're not already unmute. Can you hear me?
I can definitely hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, let's see if we need to put our volume up. It could be me. Uh, I probably have mine down. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to, yeah, mine is down. Unmute if you're not. I'm sorry about that. I'm trying to get this thing out. You know, people will call and do stuff. Charise, I met you. I think you just, can you hear me now? Can you hear me
Yeah, I can
well?
definitely hear you fine.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. So I met you through responding to a Scout Out Shout Out, which is a author 20 to 30-minute chat. So this is going to go really fast, but we want to get everything out of you. So tell us about yourself, why you penned this book, and definitely she is the author of Sir, I Am Not Her, She Is Not Me, We Are Not the Same. So why did you, before you tell us about yourself, I want you to ponder this. Why did you say sir? Is it someone you were speaking to in that uh, the person who you are now, the former you, or as your journey began? But tell us about yourself and why you penned the book and answer that question. I threw a lot at you.
Sure, not a problem, no problem. So the book, Sir, I'm Not Her, She's Not Me, we're not the same. It came from a time in my life when I believe I was might have been involved with someone, and I started realizing there was treatment that I uh did not really care for. And I started realizing, sir, I'm not her. And here also it comes from a person may formulate what they think you are, who they may think about you, or what they really think of themselves. And so they treat you like that. And I'm like, no, I'm not her. And whoever you think I am, she's not me, and we're not the same. And even it also could be a point in my life that maybe at one time where it might have been one time in my life, I might have been whoever her was, but whoever she was at that time, that's not who I am now. And we're not the same. So it could be also a part of me realizing overcoming imposter syndrome, realizing that I am valuable, I'm worthy, and I know who I am, and I stand on unapologetically in that, because sometimes it's not other people what they think of you, it's really how you carry yourself that may give out the air that they think it's okay to treat you at a low vibrating situation. So, sir, I'm not her. She's not me. We're not the same. It's a whole declaration.
Wow, love it. Okay, who were you? It might sound like uh uh this might sound rhetorical or something like that. So, who is this conversation with? Is this your past you? Is this the former you? Or is this evolve you?
All
Who is
that.
the conversation with?
All that. It could be the past me. It could be the current me growing into what I'm, because I'm not the same person I might have been yesterday. I realize I've grown. It is not even the sir, I'm not her doesn't really mean a man, because it could be a man, it could be anyone that's thinking that you are a particular vibration or person, or sometimes people will project on them what they don't like about themselves on you. Because I could be shining so brightly, and I am shining so brightly, that people may get intimidated by how bright I shine. So therefore, they're going to do whatever they can do to dim me and make me think that I am how dare you to think that you could write a book? How dare you to think that you can coach someone to believe in themselves? How dare you to think that you can be a speaker, an actor, an artist, and someone that is an influencer to give people back their power? So the sir is that I'm not her, she's not me, comes from owning your own power. I tell people that I am your external cheerleader to help you trust your internal thoughts towards you. So that means trust yourself. You don't need anyone else to tell you to trust yourself. Whatever God has told you to do, trust yourself in it, even if you do it afraid.
I love that. You talk about don't be confused with me, the wounds I survive, identity. Let's talk about that. It's a number of things that you had in
Mhm.
your synopsis, and I just wanted to gut that out. Let's start with all of this is going to be survive, the key, but then identity. Let's start with that one first.
The things that I survived is not who I am. That's what happened to me. And so we have sometimes things happen to us, like me being held back in the third grade because the school district that I was going to, they were on strike and it was time to go back to school. They put me back in the third grade. And the way my stepfather treated me, I thought was, yeah, I'm stupid. I'm learning disability because that's what they had me in. But I realized I don't have a learning disability. I just learn differently than anyone else. And then because people will put that stigma on you, you will start to kind of dull down or not want to raise your hand in class because you think you're gonna not right know the right answer or you feel stupid. But that's not who I am. That's what happened to me. And when I've grown up and I've learned more about myself, I'm really not stupid. I mean, I have three that people have more degrees than I am, but it's not even always about degrees. So I have passed the police exam. I passed the cosmetology exam the first try. I passed the real estate exam. I'm a licensed real estate broker in 3 different states, and that's to me that's a big deal because it's real estate is not an easy career, and this test here in Arizona was super hard, and I still passed it. So the thing of me have my own identity. I know who I am. I am not the identity that you give me. My identity that you place on me does not mean that that is true. It's your perspective. I don't have to believe someone else's false lies about me to make them true for me. That's your truth for you, but I know who I am. So teaching people to stand in who they are, they don't have to succumb to somebody else's identity because when you do that, you be like the wind, the shaft. One person said like this, one person said like, you will never be true in who you are if you're getting out validation from someone outside of you. You know who you are. And then when you start to know who you are, you don't have to argue and stand, you don't have to give validation because the truth always never needs defense. People think what they want to think. Let them, they say, I'll be the villain in your story because you're the clown in mine.
I love it. I love it. We're going down there now. The self-worth. When did you discover your self-worth? Because are we waiting, Charise? Are we waiting on people to tell us our self-worth, or do we have to wait for someone to value us? When did your self-worth
You
uh,
don't have
come to you as a
you
knowledge of self-worth?
you don't have to wait for someone, even though sometimes when you're growing up and you've told you were dumb, you're stupid, you're gonna, have a whole bunch of babies and you've had some abuse and trauma and bad relationships and all the bad relationships, not always with the man. You could always have a bad relationship with yourself. What are you telling about yourself? And when you start to realize and read the word of God, or for me, the things that I have gone through and God has allowed me to accomplish, and I go back and I look over the receipts of what God has done for me, my self-worth has always been there. But you just have to know your self-worth is there. That's the problem. We're looking for somebody else to validate who our self-worth is. And if you're looking for somebody else, you will never have nobody because they'll have you hung by the string, telling you this and that, do that. Some people think they're not valuable if they don't have a relationship. You got to first have a relationship with yourself.
That is so true. Nobody think about that. Like we always think about, you could talk about that too, forgiveness, but we always think of forgiving others, but we never can forgive ourselves first. So I like the way you said that. You also mentioned like unshakable strength.
Yeah,
Tell
unshakable
us
strength.
about that. What was that unshakable strength that you had?
I think I go back to when like I wasn't even in elementary school, and if you read the first chapter of the book, I remember my mother was dating someone, and there was a situation, the scene where I remember I was 2 or 3 years old. I wasn't even in elementary school, and I remember I heard her arguing and all that going, and I'm like, what is that? So I get up and I'm walking through the living from my bedroom through the living room to the kitchen, and I see this man got my mother pinned into the corner of the kitchen, and I had a knife against her chest or whatever. And I said some words that I don't know how a 2 or 3 year old should know, but I said some things that profanity things that I said. And I stood there unafraid, not scared. Like, yeah, you're gonna have to get up out of here. That's kind of say how I say it in a nice way. And I knew then, and I remember my mother's best friend, she was in 2017 when I was caring for my mother. She had said, you have always been outspoken. And I always, like, especially when it came to my mother, her friends would, seeing my mother deal with these ladies who had been, my mother was a nice looking lady and she was a very smart woman. It's a nice shape and everything. And seeing how she was treated and called out of her names and stuff like that. And I'd be a little kid, I'd be playing in the way in the other room. And I hear something. And I come out and I stand there and I look and I say something. And they'd be like, this little girl here, don't play about my mama. And I'm not gonna play about me. If I decide not to play with,
Mm,
if I decide not to
I
play with
know
me, I'm
that's,
not gonna let you play with me either. And I don't mean no
I
harm
love
about that,
that.
but
Love that, Charise. You talk about, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying I don't mean to that I'm
Go
being
ahead.
confrontational or combative. I'm just like, after a while, you get to a certain age in your life, and you've been through some things. For myself, I'm gonna speak. You be like, I'm not gonna sign up for that. I don't have to. I'm okay with loving me and liking me. Party of one.
Mm-hmm.
When you learn to like yourself and
I,
treat yourself the right way, you teach people how to
I
treat you.
love that. So true. You talk about childhood scars. Are these internal scars? Are these physical scars? What are these childhood scars that you talk about?
I don't have any physical scars, but the mental scars and things of how I was treated, what was said to me, and things that were done to me. Even I would say, I remember my sister and I, we would be in elementary school for a while. When my mother was married to my stepfather, we went to private school and we would get picked on the bus there, picked on the kids on the block because we would have the Batman, the volleyball set, and the skateboard and things. I'm like, God, dog, go home and get picked on by the kids at school, just or thin, dark, long hair, and you're pulling hair and just so. Then even unfortunately I've seen it in late age, or even in adulthood with, or even through high school with women, girls, the mean girl spirit. So I ain't doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't signing up for conversation.
Wow. That was, now we're going into adulthood and adulthood. You said adult lessons. What were those adult lessons that you could pass on to the former, your evolved self, and that you can, those who are listening, that you can give to us, or those who are
Well,
listening?
so many lessons. Well, one lesson again is you don't have to get validation from someone else about what God told you. So you'll do things that makes totally no sense to man, but God will help you do it, and it'll work out on your own. Moving across the country from Kansas City to Arizona with no family, what was going on in Kansas City, I just like I got to move and do something different, and for my life to be better for myself, to make it better for my mother. Another lesson is realize, I remember a season after my mother passed away. So when my mother was alive, I was restricted to be here and there and do a lot of different things, try to do a few things. But I realized that people want to keep you in that same spot of where you were. People can handle your suffering, but they cannot handle your success.
Mm, I like that.
They
I
can
like
handle
that.
your
That is so
struggle,
true.
but they can't handle your success. So now you're able to go out and about and build a dream life or aspire to be more. And people were like, well, hey, wait a minute, what is she doing here? Why is she? Because they saw me in another capacity. They didn't see me past that struggle. Now I'm in a different level and they don't see me in that success. And then when you do get to that success, how dare you surpass where I thought you should be? You don't get to go above me.
Mm, wow. We see that a lot. I'm going to reset, Charise, and I'm going to reset to those that are here. And I'm resetting to 25 that are on there, whether you're in the queue or you are doing a replay at a later time and just gave us high five. I thank you guys for being here. Our guest tonight is Charise King. Very powerful book. And I don't want to mess that up. So I got it written down. Sir, I am not her. She is not me. We are not the same. And I like that, um, what you said about this. Charise, Uh, hold on a moment. I just dropped something. And I'm going to mute this camera so I can get it, okay? I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm back. I don't want to do
Mhm.
too much. And
Okay.
thank you for that. Please forgive me.
Mhm.
Um, you talked about betrayal. There's a lot of betrayal. Are we talking about betrayal of friends, betrayal of family, betrayal of all relationship? Where did this betrayal come from?
Yeah, it could be of all, I remember when I first moved here, I was accused of taking my mother's money to move here. Her car, I sold her car because she had Huntington's disease and she couldn't drive, and I was accused of that. Or like when I sold my mother's house, trying to figure out how much she sold her house for. It doesn't matter how much she sold her house for, it's hers. And the great thing about it is because
Mm-hmm.
I'm a good steward over my finances. My mother's, so there's Psalm 23, right? He said that he anoints your head with oil and your cup runneth over. So in that cup runneth over, I'm gonna give you this analogy. My mother's funds of her selling her house was the cup runneth over. And what I mean by that is he anointed my head with oil. So before my mother moved here, I had already my own oil that God was giving me. And I had the cost of the oil. So my mother's money was not mandatory for me to be able to take care of her. It was the overflow. And because I took care of my mother the way I took care of her, he kept overflowing, but it was not the fact that I needed her money to survive because I had already been here for 18 months. So accusing me of taking her money and doing this and doing what that is with it, that was not those accusations were what they were. However, I started realizing was there was nothing for me to argue about because me and God knew what I was doing with her money or not doing with her money. And I'd already talked to my grandmother about me bringing her daughter here because it was her daughter, but my mother, she couldn't take care of her. So I brought her here with me. But
Yes.
if I was using my mother's money, I was the one who was up late, keeping her from throwing up. I was up one up get wiping her behind. I was the one feeding her, clothing her, taking her back and forth to the doctor. So if I set it on fire, it wasn't nobody's business but me and God. But that's not who I am. That I'm like I
I
had to I
love
had
it.
to
I love it.
I had to tell a relative. She said to me, "Well, you probably wouldn't be able to afford that other house you in if you wasn't for your mother." I said, "Excuse me. Let's be clear. Let's be real clear. She wasn't in this house when I moved in this house. I got this house and got myself set up so that she could be here and be safe and comfortable. So I'm not living on my mother's money. But if it was that I was doing that, that's what I was supposed to do because I was caring for God's daughter, my mother. And it takes a lot to run the household
Mm.
and take care of somebody and buy wheelchairs and briefs and doctors, diapers and things of that nature. But so those things of that nature, and just seeing how people got upset of how well I treated my mother. You can see the angst and the angriness. I'm like, well, what did y'all expect me to do? She's my mother. But if a person will be mad at you because of really how they would treat someone, and they would think that you would do what they would do. But I didn't do what you thought I was do. I did what I because I don't
Mm-hmm.
have any children, And I pray to God that if something happens to me, my nieces and nephews, or whoever it may be that see fit, that they will argue about bringing me a glass of water if I
Oh,
needed somebody to bring me a
love
glass
it.
of
Wow, very powerful, very powerful. I'm going to lump these things together because it's so much more I want to tell you. The time is went, but I'm just going to go a little bit more with you because I
water.
want to finish this out. So you see how fast that time goes. And so I'm going to lump this in, but I wanted to ask you some more questions. So when we talk about healing, you talk about the mirror, redemption, and medicine.
Hmm.
So you can lump it together, but you can certainly tell us separately. But when you talk about the healing, the mirror, and medicine, redemption, let's talk about that.
Well, the mirror is looking my, it could be metaphorical or it could be literal, or the mirror of seeing how, what was it that what part did I play in whatever some circumstances happen. Because also when you're going through some things and you're in survival mode, you may respond or may come off a certain way because you're all you know is survival, 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 and I have to realize what part did I play in certain circumstances because you
Mhm,
can't always say it's somebody else. You got to look at the big picture and see
mhm,
where you're up and see what part did you play, and then God will give you the experience and know the difference. And was it you? Was it them? Those different things, and realize that you can't take that with you in the future because the healing part is realizing what part you played, what you didn't play, and how you could have responded so that you can heal and move on and not go through those things again. So, because now, unless I'm talking about it or talking about my book, I don't think about those things as often. However, there may be situations and circumstances that come up that seem familiar, but that doesn't mean that they're exactly the same thing. So you got to ask questions. What did you mean by that? This way, or then sometimes people just want to misunderstand you anyway, and let them and let them. Sometimes people want to, because we also realize we also can be hurt hearing from a hurt ear, hearing from a hurt ear. And then some people
I
want to
love
be
that.
hurt. Some people want to be hurt and they want to hear from a hurt ear. Sometimes you can say good morning to somebody, but why did you say, you know what? Okay. You passed my pay grade. I'm not, sir, I'm not her. She's not me. We're not the same.
Charise, I tell you, it really just stuck with me when you said some people could be speaking from a hurting ear. And
No,
also, like
speaking
you
from a
said, to
hurt.
add to that, responding from hurt.
They're hearing from a hurt ear. There could be something you could say and they'll take it for I had a
Hmm.
you can be saying something to someone and you'll be like, how did you get that out of that? And the whole other person that's in there as an
Exactly.
witness is like, what? How did you get that? And then sometimes that's another person can say the same thing and they're fine with it. But if it comes from you specifically, whatever it is about that me that they don't care about, it doesn't matter what I say. It could just be wrong. And when I start realizing that, I have the gift of goodbye.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Charisse, because I have three daughters. And one of my daughters, she just turned 40. So I have a 40-year-old, 38-year-old, and a 36-year-old. And so I would tell them, I have a son that's 28. But when you mention that, I also know in relationship, I just can't come in and say, you got friends already, for example, and I just can't come to you and speak any kind of way because we're not in that type of relationship. So when you said that, I thought about that. We need to speak to a person in at that point where we are in a relationship with them. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We may not think it, but you just remind me of that because you can't come in. Your friend or somebody probably could say that because you guys are close. So where we are, and this is gonna bring me into what I was saying. When my next question is when you said empowering women, and you said sometimes they could be mislabeled, and I believe that each woman have their own story. Every page is meant to be together, like her story, if you will, can do it an anthology type style with women. But when you say empowering women, and sometimes they are mislabeled, let's talk about that.
It's from my time. Remember, so I've had family members say, "You so bossy, you so bossy, you're bossy." And then one day I said, I ran down these list of things that I got done. I'm like, so there's a difference. Bossy is you giving people orders and not doing anything. I get things done. So, there's a difference between I know people that are bossy do this and do that, but they never get nothing accomplished. But there's a saying that if you want something done, give it to the busiest person because they're getting stuff done. But with somebody who's not doing anything, they're not going to get anything done. So, and then being mislabeled it could just be because it's a stereotype that they feel about women, and specifically women of color and middle-aged women. They always say we're loud, we're bossy, we're bitter. And some of that may be true, and some of it may not be true. I remember, let me give you an example. I was working at a job, and it was a gentleman. He was my cousin's best friend's fiance. And I know some people come by my desk and he would be doing his head, whatever this beeping and bobbing and all that and all that. And one day I said, why do you, when you come talk to me, why do you move your head back and forth like that? I said, because I'm not ever talking to you like that. So it let me know in his mind, he saw me as the sister that doing all this. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, he's done that about 4 or 5 times doing all this when he talking to me. And so I finally said, is there a reason why you move like your neck like that? Because I'm not talking to you like that. Because in his head, he saw me as the black woman that was moving and rolling her head. And I was like, he's like, do I do? I said, you do it every time you talk to me. And I'm trying to figure out why you do that because I'm not moving my head. I don't even talk like that. So misunderstood, mislabeled, and preconceived
Wow.
notion. Mm-hmm. He didn't even
Wow.
realize he was doing it. And I was like, why are you moving your head like that? I'm like, that's so 1970s and 80s and 90s. Who's still moving their head like that?
Wow. So it kind of lump every woman in that. So when you mention that too, just a black woman, when she becomes angry, but really she's not. We might be bitter, some bitter black women, as you said, but
But it's
we're misunderstood because we're trying to explain. Then we get a little higher and then a little higher. But the real truth is, I, we live in now, and you can see it for yourself, Charise, that women, the power of a woman, we always talked about that, but now we have a home that are just empowered by women. There's no men in a home and stuff. And they always, I don't know, I'm in my 60s, so they always say if you want a job done, I heard people say let a woman do it, she'll do it. I'm not saying she need to do everything, but those different things we do step up. We step up and we work out there, we pop out a few babies and go right back to work and different things like that. So
that
when
is
you empower that woman, who's that audience? Who's that audience? And I told you when I spoke to you before, womanhood, sisterhood.
mhm.
So I want to really talk about sisterhood. Does that sisterhood only mean, and this is the part I think that some people might get angry, and I hope I don't make them angry. Because when I look at sisterhood, I look at all women, no matter what
Mhm.
color or
Yeah,
whatever. What is that like for you? Woman,
yeah.
when you say sisterhood.
Yeah, sisterhood doesn't really mean only just black women. It can be sisterhood of every woman who's been through something, who can understand. They've been through some things, and they need. We need each other. There are stories that I tell people or tell women or even men sometimes, and they're like, "Wow, you went through that." That gives me hope. That gives me encouragement. Sisterhood means being able to be very transparent and trust someone. It's not with everyone, because some people you have to realize they're there just to study you and to study you so that they can use it against you. So you have to be wise in that nature. When you've gone through a few things, you can start to see that. But one thing in sisterhood, also I want to say is we have this whole thing about the strong black woman, the strong, strong. I'm tired of they can keep that cape. They can keep that cape.
That's false.
Yeah,
That's false.
that's
And
false.
I
And
agree with you.
they can keep that cape. And even when they say, like if something happens, stay strong. I'm ready to go lay in the bed and be soft. And that's gonna be my strong. My strong don't have to be trying to save the whole world. No, I'm not. My strong will have you
That
stroke
is
out.
so true.
Strong will have you stroke
That's
out
so true. Just
to
because you,
40
just
seconds.
because,
No.
just because they say strong, I'm sorry, just because they say strong black woman, to it negates sometimes that she doesn't need that help. She's put everything on her shoulder, and she can't take that break to have that mental health, to have that self care. So we need to, we like you say, we definitely need to stop that. I want to ask you a question here too. Hopefully you can hear me well. Can you hear me well?
I can hear you definitely.
So, okay, awesome. Awesome. So I walked, and I want you to tell us what else you have going on after this, but I walked through a crowd of women, right? And I said, hello, ladies. They looked at me like I was strange. I didn't understand that. Are we not, is that offensive saying hello, ladies? And then there was another crowd. They said, I said, hello, ladies. They say hello. So what is going on when a woman presents, just salutations of hello, women? What's
Yeah, I
going
think
on?
I don't know.
Or hello,
Unfortunately,
ladies.
unfortunately, and it's funny you said that because I did a test at that at the job I had where I greeted people, but I'm still gonna go and say hello, ladies, because that's what I am, a lady. I'm not a female dog. I'm not a heifer. I'm not a girl. I'm not a gal. I just was encountered with
Exactly.
a
Thank you.
lady. I know she didn't mean no harm, but she said, "Hey, gal," and I said, "My name is Charise." She said, "Oh, I didn't mean not. Don't call me gal, because I'm to me that goes back to the slavery thing and all that. And I know she didn't know no better, but I'm letting her know, don't call me gal. That ain't my name." And so, with that being said, unfortunately, the society, and you would think that I would say 40 plus up, we should be in an age where we know that we didn't do grow up with those things. But I do remember my mother being called out her name by her friends, and that's not a term of endearment. If you can't say me love bug, beautiful cutie, something like that, then don't call me Miss King or call me Lady Sharice or call me Sharice. Don't call me out my name because that's not who I am. And I think it's about self-respect and dignity and knowing who you are as God, because God didn't say you was a heifer. He didn't say you was a female.
Mm.
He said that you was the apple of his eye. He said he knew you when he formed you in your mother's womb. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. He said, you are my daughter. Call me that. Don't call me out of my name. Because I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna respond. And then
Boy,
they'll flip the script on that as well, how you respond. So no, I don't like that. So how hello ladies, but here's the thing, if you don't feel yourself, sometimes people don't even know that they don't even realize that they have value. They don't even realize that they have value because value has been caught up in twerking and popping and shaking and BBLs and being half naked. When you start to realize you have value, that's when you start to realize you have value, you don't really answer to anything else. You're not going to answer to the, oh, psst, psst, hey, baby, hey, mama. I mean, I've had even women try to, call a little crazy name, and I keep on walking like I don't even hear. I really do. I know how to play. I know how to ignore you real.
mm,
I got the gift of good. I got the gift of ignore too. I will ignore you. You can be right next to me, and I can ignore you. So I've done it. Trust me. I'm not her.
I love
She's not
that.
me. We're not the
I
same.
love it.
So is this about value, self-worth?
I
They got to know
love it.
their value too. Because if you don't value yourself, so when you value yourself, you'll start knowing, or they'll tell you you're bougie. And somebody told me that, oh, you're bougie. I said, thank you so much. You can see that I appreciate nice things. Thank you.
That is so true. I know we went over our time. I certainly enjoyed this. I've seen some things that you have coming up, Charisse. One of them is that a stage play? What is that? Can you tell us about that and other things that you have going up? And where can we reach you and get your book?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna there's a actually the first person that allowed me to do a speak engagement. I went to this, she was having a play, this lady that's BRC, Dr. Britta Combs here in Arizona, and she was telling her testimony, her story, and it was a little time after my mom passed, and I went up to her and I asked her, I want to do, we get it becoming to speaking, getting to speaking and motivating, inspiring people. So she let me do my first experience there at her sober homes. And here it is, what, 4 years later, a full circle. And she asked me at an event last month, would you mind do you like being in my play, Price of Freedom? And she was like, well, who would you like to play? And I thought I don't want to do something that's always typical now. So I decided to play Fannie Lou Hamer, which how appropriate it is for right now because it's about the voting and things of that nature and the civil rights. And I'm gonna do some things that I'm gonna add to it. So I'm doing that audio book. Hopefully that'll be released here soon. I'm doing also doing more advocacy with women organizations that it gets me out there to be the full authority of who I am, as well as give back and serve. And so it's reciprocal. That's what I want to do. And so that's where I am. And I believe in God to put me on stages and places where that I can speak about what I overcome and have overcame and how to overcome it. And but even in this, it still gets a little, it can still be a little disheartening or a little scary because you still sometimes have to say, are they going to receive this? Because God will give me something to say and they may not appreciate it, but they take it up. But I'm not meant to fit in. I'm not meant to fit in. And I realize that. And I understand that my confidence could be more than what some people can handle. And I'm not saying that arrogantly because what God is bringing,
Mm,
because what I'm saying, I'm not saying that arrogantly. I'm saying that I've seen how God has brought me through this situation, this situation. And so as they say now, the receipts, when I start looking over the receipts of what God has given me, you get more and more comfortable and bold into his word. And this is like, this is what it is. You take it up with him.
hmm
Hmm.
I love it. I love it. And I can see, like, Charise, just looking at you, the bold confidence in some people, um, especially as women, she thinks she look good. Well, she look good. That's why you said she thinks she looks good.
Right.
And they don't know what you went through and the confidence that you had or what you had to do to build that confidence. So that's why I'm all about womanhood. And I think we should appreciate each other. One more example, and I want you to, if you have that address to the play, to say that. But one more example, there was a lady in line, a young lady in line. She had one long ponytail. She really looked good. And I was looking at, and I was in line myself too. And do you know, well, maybe it might just me through my lens. They were so afraid to tell us she looked beautiful. I said, girl, you look beautiful. You are rocking that. I am unashamed to tell you, you look good.
And,
You
and
really look good. And do you know that she just kind of dropped like whatever she was carrying and she smiled and she said, thank you. And she could feel the tenseness. We don't need to do that.
yeah,
I'm not afraid to tell someone they look good.
yeah, they look good.
People
I'd be
get
like,
upset. Why are we doing that? Like, you're beautiful, you're a beautiful woman, and I can just see everything about you. And I've seen a video of you of what you told, what happened, and what your stepfather did, and all that stuff. And I'm in shock. I'm in shock because I wasn't expecting that. And I'm
mm-hmm.
like, does she? She don't look like she's been through that. They would
Well,
just have to listen to it on off play,
yeah,
the
they have
rest
to
of it
listen
where it
to it.
is. So
Right,
tell
exactly.
us, yeah, tell us where this play is. Tell us where this play
Sure.
is. If for
It-
those who may be in the area, they might want to get it once they see this. And I'm gonna put your book link there too.
yeah, well, the play is at Cactus Jacks. It's on February the 27th at 7 o'clock p.m. So it's going to be really a dinner play. And it's 4747 East Elliott Road, Chandler, Arizona, 85026. I think that's what the zip code is, but it's at Cactus Jacks off of Ray Road, Elliott Road. If anybody knows that, they can always Google Cactus Jacks, and that's what it is on the 27th. I'm excited about that. I have been walking around the house because I'm playing Fannie Lou Hamer. So, she was powerful. And then, people don't know she had polio. She was born 1917. She was a slave and she was still on the plantation. She had been beaten and, thrown in jail and things of that nature. So that's a powerful character to play. So I'm excited about that. So I've been ad-libbing and studying for that so I can make an impact on that because some of the things that went on then, we're going through now. The whole chatted ballots and recount
Exactly.
and having to figure out if you're documented or if you got parents that you were born here, but your parents weren't. So that means you're undocumented, all this kind of stuff. So all those different things. So I'm excited about that. I'm doing the 15th. We have Rep Your Brand, Black author meet and greet. I've done that before. And then actually I just joined the organization on The 13th, I'm doing a Galentine's Day. So I'm going to be doing selling my books and do things there, which is going to move me into the opportunity to speak or coach. So that's what I'm looking. The other things I'm looking to, maybe one-on-one or group sessions where I want to have intimate settings where women can talk about truly what they, some things and how did I handle it, how I got over, or they give me feedback and we learn from each other because you're sick as your secrets, and then
I love
people
it.
have to realize
I
you're
love it.
sick.
Charise, I
Go ahead.
go ahead, go ahead.
What are you saying?
We have a delay, so go ahead.
So yeah, you're
Okay.
sick as
Um, I did get your book. Go ahead.
I was just saying we are sick as our secrets, and sometimes our secrets are healing to ourselves. It gives God the opportunity, the light to shine from God, that He healed us from that, and how you can help someone else who's hiding behind the mask or facade. Tell somebody to go ahead and shine. And if you shine so bright and they don't like it, tell them to put their sunglasses on.
I love it. I knew it. I knew I'd get that from you. Charise, when you gave me that book link, I
Hmm.
got the book on Kindle. I'm at the first chapter. I read the with Dr. Jacqueline Cox, her forward that she put in there, and I wasn't even on the first page yet, and it was already so much, and you give us warnings and everything. So I didn't even get deep into the first chapter. I just got it midnight because something was happening where it wouldn't load up, but I got it, and I will be reading it. But it is so powerful, just the forward, just the beginning, and the warning like you gave us, and well written. And I ain't even gone too far. Just from the synopsis, I was able to talk to you now. But I definitely can't wait to read it. I do have it on my Kindle, and I was excited when you gave me the link. And I say, I have got to get this book. So yes, yes, yes. And I love the book cover. We're going to end it with this, the book cover. Were you able to have control of your book cover? And that's a very powerful book cover. Do you love purple?
I do like purple and I do like purple. Purple is royalty. I like purple, pink, white. I like soft feminine colors. But I believe what I did was I had told Jacqueline Cox, who was the person that helped me with this project. I said I wanted purple. She knows I wear hats, something like that. So she came up with this. And it was through a couple of different choices, and this is the one I chose. Yeah, so and because it's a lady of elegance, a lady that's distinguished, she carries herself with
Love
class.
it.
She's fully dressed, and she's confident, and she's bold, and she's unapologetic. All those things says that in this cover, and so yeah. So yeah, and then I think that this right here is the picture. Maybe that might really be me. Picture of my looks like my eyeball. Matter of fact, so they probably now that I look at it. So yeah, the book.
I'm thinking it might really be you.
Yeah, yeah. So the book is on Amazon, and it's fine to get the book on Amazon if you want it a lot quicker. But if you want to get it directly from me on my website, whatshesaid.biz, or any of my platforms when I'm out and about book signing, which I'm praying also that it starts to be that people start to hear about this book and they want me to start traveling globally or nationally to start doing book signings. That's just like Michelle Obama, Viola Davis. It can happen. It can happen because
Mm. Well, you're
this
going
is
to
an
have to come to
empowerment.
Newport News. It might be too early for you. We having one in August, August 15th. That's when we're having our book signing. So I can inbox you that. I think I sent you some of that, and it'll be in the restaurant. People have to take care of their own food. I don't have it like but I'm looking forward, Charise. I enjoyed this moment. I could just talk to you forever. And I really know that you're going to embody that character that you're going to do. I can just see it now that you're going to embody it. We not even going to know who can. Would that be on CD where we can get it? Uh, Hopefully, y'all able to do that with
You
that
talking about
play
the
because
bit?
I definitely,
No.
I'm raising my hand up for one.
Okay, I'll have to let her
I
know
know
that
it's going to
because
be good.
yeah, I have to let her know that. Oh, see,
Yes, I would want to. Yeah.
yeah, that would be
Or
great.
maybe
I'll
it'll
have
go to, you know how the other things, yeah. You know
the
how it
Roku
goes
or
to TV or
Netflix or
what,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Looking
so
forward to
I
that. We are on a little bit of delay, but But I thank you for being here. This has been a great. I had to go a little bit over. We had been long gone past our time, but I just wanted to talk a little bit more with you because I know that this would be great. This has been amazing. The other book, I don't know if you want to talk about that. That's coming
Oh,
out,
yes,
or
yes,
we'll talk
yes.
about that and just if you want to highlight that a little bit.
Sure, that book is so funny. That book is a faith zona, and it's faith of me moving here after the murder of my brother, which was the third person in my family that was murdered, and me being held up at gunpoint. And so it's just about the story of me moving here, not knowing. I remember my uncle, like the week before I was leaving, that Wednesday, he said, "We're going to have to have a conversation about this." I said, "It ain't up for conversation. It's not. I gotta go." Because of what, God will sometimes shut all the doors of all your income and everything for you. Because I'm sure if I'd have stayed really doing revenue, doing really successful in my real estate out of state, which that would have been great. But it was just slow and stagnant. I said that one day, one of my little sisters, I call her my little sister, I said, I need another job. So I started doing caregiving work to help supplement my income because business was slow in real estate. And one day I was cleaning a lady's house and I said, "God, why you got me doing this?" And literally I heard in the spirit, the spirit said, "Because one day you'll be taking care of your mother." And that was true. So I took care of my mother. That's another reason why I was so able to take care of
Mm.
her good. And so, yeah, moving here. And so what I have to, when you read the book, the first, this other one, Sir, I'm Not Her, I have something called Chariseisms. But in the Faith of Zona book, I have costs of the oil, the cost of the oil to get here, to get through what I went through. And so that
Mm.
was also great. The people that have read that anthology, now it's a separate book that I'm releasing and should be getting here in the mail, so, to sell as well. People are like, those costs of the war oil was very
Awesome.
wow. So you can get that on Amazon too. But if you want to get a signed copy with the bookmark, I don't know if you can see, people really have a fit about this bookmark. It's a picture of me on here with my QR code and the things that I've done, which I'm glad that and this is the thing about God. Before I became an actual author, I was doing the speaking engagement in Milwaukee, and I said, I don't want to carry a lot of stuff. So I made bookmarks. God knew the future that I was going to be a book author, and I always give these bookmarks along with my book. And and I think it makes a big, powerful statement. I'm branding myself, and I'm branding myself to come to something different, higher. So it's Faith is Zona, the story of me moving here, and it's a very good book. It's has some things in there, and then also, Sir, I'm Not Her. She's Not Me. We're Not the Same. You can get on my website at
So is
www.whatshesaid.biz.
it?
Uh, Go ahead.
Go ahead. I want you to finish that. But okay. So is this a companion book or both standalone?
I would prefer for them to be a companion book. That's what I'm
Okay.
doing right now,
Okay.
companion book, because what I'm doing is, like I said with this, as I said, I'm your external cheerleader to help you trust your internal thoughts towards you. Read the book, get the tea while sipping some tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I should show it to you. So what I have gotten, hold on for one thing, I did one thing.
Sure. Sure. And guys, thank you for being there again. Our guest is Charise King,
So you can
and
see this.
just back down. Go ahead.
I don't know if you can see that because of can you see that at all?
I can see it. I can see it. Bring it closer to you.
So
Yes.
this is a teapot and this is a mug.
Yes, I can see it.
So when I say read the book and get the tea while sipping tea, so you have this is a teapot with the inscription of the book and the mug, and inside the teapot is three different flavors of tea. So that's why I said it's experience. Read the book and get the tea while sipping tea. So, and this is a real teapot. Now, if you decide to put something else in
Mm.
here along with your tea, like a Long Island iced tea, that ain't got nothing to do with me. But but this is it. This is it. So right. So if somebody talking to you and they ain't acting right, you got the mug, you can just hold this up and let them read. Sir, I'm not her. She's not me. We're not the same. So that's all the things. I just know God. I don't know what God is doing, but I trust what God is doing. He's never failed me. And so my more importantly is to be obedient and serve God, even though some doing that when you're trying to do right in the world's way, it can seem hard, but I know it's always rewarding. And so that and to empower other people to believe in themselves and whatever that is. It doesn't your story doesn't have to look like somebody else's story. And I one of the thing in my
Mm-hmm.
book, I have Charisisms, and it says my healing does not have to be pretty. Because when you're healing does not have to be pretty because you're healing. And I no longer chase what God has released. That's another Charisism. So yeah, you gotta get the book,
I
get the
love
tea.
that.
I'm
So
proud of
are
you.
you saying that you're selling cups as well? Are
Oh,
you saying you're selling cups as well?
along together as a companion. It's a whole experience. You get the book, the teacup, and the
So you
tea.
get
Yeah.
it includes the, so are you saying that if they get it from you, they get the mug in the book, but Amazon, that's totally different.
No, no, they don't. You can't get it from himself. So when I'm in person and you want the whole ensemble right now with all the four things are sold for $55. That's not including the other book because I don't have the other book
Okay.
yet. But right now, with the book, the bookmark, and the three tea bags, and the teacup, in I mean the teapot and the cup, yeah, and they people love it. They're like, oh, this is cute. It's like, oh, I can. And some, people say, I love drinking tea. I'm gonna
That
sit
is
down.
beautiful.
It was something that God gave me. I said, I don't want to do what everybody else does, t-shirts and stuff, which I will, because I got some great sayings that I want to put on t. But this right here, this is a whole experience.
I love it.
Experience. hmm
That's beautiful.
Thank
That
you.
is beautiful. Hope to see you somewhere along the book signing. And this has been great. I had to hear all of you. I know I went, like I said, I went over my time. This has been amazing. This has been a beautiful moment. I really enjoyed. So those who are out there listening to us now, Charise King, this was the synopsis. We haven't even touched her book yet. And so that's what I was telling. It goes really fast. It's a what we call a scout out. We take your synopsis and we just do bits and pieces. But the whole book experience is totally different. That is totally different from this. So this is synop based only. If you guys are looking for get yours done, do inbox me or on this channel. You can see it on YouTube. Charise, this has definitely been great and rewarding. What would you like for those who are listening? Do a replay. What do you want them to take away? What's your takeaway?
I want them to take away that even though it doesn't look like what you want it to be, trust God in the process because we're all pruning, all growing. Anything that's not growing is dying. And a lot of times you may feel alone, you may feel uncomfortable because changing, you can feel uncomfortable because you start to realize certain things that you used to deal with or want to do is no longer what God has called you out from. And He'll call you out from there to be healed and whole and to be comfortable in yourself. That's what I want people to do. And I want them to know that I'm even human. There could be times that I could be speaking, and hey, I'm okay to be corrected as well. I don't know it all, but I do know that I've been through some things, and I want to share that as a testimony with anyone to just continue to strive, to see God in everything and believe in yourself because you are not her. She's not you. She's not, you're not the same. Believe in who you are. You're not the same who you was a year ago. What you might have dealt with before. We should be always ever growing and evolving and challenging ourselves to be a better person, not settle for mediocrity because he didn't call us
That's
to
so
be.
true.
Yeah.
That
It's
is true,
okay to,
Cherise. We're
it's
not
okay.
even the same a moment ago as we first got on. We're still not even the same a few seconds ago. But I'm sure that your mom is very proud of you and just to have to leave this world and leave a beautiful woman like yourself and to be able
Yeah.
to thrive and to survive. That's beautiful.
One thing I do want to thought of, it's okay to grow and it's okay to accept nice things and want nice things. If they say you bougie, say, yes, I am. It's okay. It's okay. Never apologize for God blessing you to go forward because God said He will give you desires of your hearts. It is okay. And you don't have to explain it. No is a complete answer and not responded at all is a complete answer. You don't have to respond.
Love it. Love it. Love it. So good night to you, and thank you so much for coming out. Look forward to your other book, You and I talk about that because she'll certainly come back with that other book. You have an amazing night, and you know to
Will.
hit that X, and then you'll be dropped down. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for sharing
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an amazing night.
You too. Bye.
You are welcome. I certainly enjoy this. So thank you guys, those who were looking on, those who are on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Thank you for every moment, whether you peeked in, you decided just look and then save it for later. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate you. Again, our guest is Charise King. Her book is titled Sir, I Am Not Her. She is not me. We are not the same. And also, guys, I'm going to put the link for Melvina Gray's book, and let's encourage her as well as she do her journey about PTSD. Her book is titled Comeback Related PTSD, which is the really Willie Gray story. You can go to www.williegraystory.com. You can get her book on Amazon as well as on her website. Do again go to www.williegraystory.com, and I will put that in there. Thank you, Milvina, and thank you also to our guest, Charise King. This has been an amazing night. Thank you all to you. You guys have a great night. Good night, guys.